It was more than 15 years ago when I learned the real meaning of madness through the NCAA Final Four in San Antonio. As a graduate student at Ohio University, majoring in sports administration, I had an opportunity to experience the Final Four as part of my research, visiting some side events, including a basketball clinic with workshops to teach kids teamwork. The 3 years in the United States gave me a chance to expose myself to broad views and the experience of being a minority. I also learned about the great yet complex history and culture of the country, including inequity. I had played basketball for more than 20 years, so the first thing I did on campus was knock on the door of the athletic department to ask for opportunities to help the Ohio University basketball team, which, by the way, won the MAC championship this year. Just days later, I found myself at the convocation center, keeping side scores. And weeks later, the head coach generously introduced me to his friend working in the NBA, who I went to meet in San Antonio. My first experience with March Madness turned out to be a very memorable one, because with incredible excitement, I was able to meet with an NBA executive, the first significant step towards making my dream come true. After several applications and some 7-hour straight drives, I was privileged to get my break with the Detroit Pistons as the first Japanese woman working with NBA on the business operations side. It was a life-changing experience working with their community relations division, and I got to see at firsthand how basketball was being leveraged to affect positive change in the communities. I still remember the excited yelling by the kids when they found NBA players at reading timeout events, and I cannot forget their starry eyes while reading books together with the players. With such priceless experience and knowledge of sports marketing, I went back to Japan in 2006, aiming to contribute to Japanese sports industry. I established my own consulting company in 2010 and also launched a nonprofit Sport for Smile to empower socially marginalized people harnessing the power of sport. However, when I told people that I was working with the NBA, the question most asked was, "Were you cheerleading?" I was flattered for a moment, but then I thought of something more important. I need to change this. But my plate was quite full already, so I couldn't think of starting anything new until 2015, when the new Japanese Pro Basketball League was created. With the historical event in Japanese basketball, I took inspiration from my mentors and sports business executives who gave me the golden opportunities, such as NCAA Final Four, NBA drafts, and Basketball Without Borders. Every time that I thanked them, they always said to me, "Pay it forward. Do the same thing for young people." That's why I established my next big pivot to empower women in Japan seeking a career in sports business, mainly in basketball. While Japan has regarded as a developed country, when it comes to gender equality, it's got a long way to go, ranking 121st out of 153 countries in 2020, according to the World Economic Forum. In fact, if you go to sports business seminars and events in Japan, only 10% of the audience are women, and it's not unusual for no female speakers to be on the stage. That has been a common landscape of Japanese sports industry, unfortunately. The Future Front Women project that I launched in 2016 and implemented in New York and LA so far has provided young women in Japan with opportunities to visit US to be inspired by female leaders of top sports organizations in person. I wanted to give them opportunities like I was given, and I was rewarded when one of the participants thanked me, saying the experience was life-changing for her. Around the time when the first female vice president was elected last year, I was contacted by a young Japanese woman excitedly telling me that she was hired by a WNBA team with their sponsorship division. So now I can proudly say I am the first Japanese woman working with the world's top basketball league's business operations. But I am not the last. To commemorate this, I have decided to launch a new project called Heart Pivot, providing women at Japanese pro leagues with speaking opportunities and presentation trainings so they can be more confident to speak in public. There is still a long way to go, but the good news is that Japanese sports has recently made a historical pivot towards gender equality. In February 2021, the president of the Tokyo Organizing Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games resigned after being condemned for his out-of-date sexist comments. And the top position was succeeded by a female leader, with female members now making up almost half of the board. This is very encouraging, and I am hopeful. Many people ask me why I can be so courageous. So to conclude my speech, let me answer that question, introducing the Japanese women I most respect, who taught me how precious my life is. Her name is Misue Ogawa. She was born in 1919 in a small village of Gifu Prefecture, central part of Japan. Her family was poor, so she had to take care of their housework, returning from elementary school every day. And only after midnight was she able to start her homework. Upon graduation from elementary school, she was sent to a weaving factory to help her family financially, where she had to work from early morning to late at night. And even after she got married, her hard-working life continued because her husband was poor and also had to pay the debts left by his brother. In addition, she lost her baby to miscarriage, not once, but twice. But she didn't drive herself to despair and kept working harder from early morning until midnight. And when she got pregnant again, she decided to deliver her baby at the risk of her own life via C-section, which was a very risky procedure at the time. This time, she was finally able to meet her baby daughter, who grew up to lead a healthy and happy life. Then her daughter got married and gave birth to another cheerful girl. That's me. I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, but never heard her blame her fate or consider giving up. Instead, she tried to find hope without letting obstacles in life stop her. She died several years ago, unfortunately. But her lessons live on through me and through the experiences I provide to help others. Ultimately, that grit and resilience is what we all need to succeed in life and on the basketball court.